Oh, so I just read that John Jones has agreed to fight Francis Ngannou at heavyweight. Let's talk about that, because you are on the #1 MMA channel in the world with the most exciting story that we've heard in about 2 years in terms of crazy matchups, that finally something interesting that's a little outside of normal, right? Tony and Khabib, Gaethje and Khabib, Conor and Khabib, Conor and Gaethje, all exciting, but all pretty normal, okay? No dream fights like a dude who's completely undefeated his entire life, aside from one time when he lost, when he dropped a 12-6 elbow through a guy's face who was basically already unconscious, versus the most devastating and terrifying heavyweight basically in heavyweight history. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty unorthodox fight. John Jones coming up to heavyweight to fight Francis Ngannou. Let's go. And what better place for you to hear about it? Because I can promise you're going to go to these other outlets and they're going to go, listen, let me break down this fight with some idiotic shit, where you could get something way better on Jesse on Fire's channel. But guess what? You're on Jesse on Fire's channel, so I'm going to feed it to you. Nobody's going to have the X's and O's broken down like this except for the Weasel. The Weasel has the X's and O's on me, but I feel like I'm a little more entertaining than the Wheeze, even though I like him. The Wheeze, we can do a podcast together, dog. You take care of X's and O's, I'll take care of entertainment and being shockingly good looking. Although I have no idea what you look like. So let's talk about John Jones and Francis Ngannou. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, how about you do that? And how about you ring the bell, so that not only do you hear when I post videos, but you can say, I was in on Jesse on Fire early. Dude, I was the 2,400th subscriber. He's the biggest star on YouTube now. I was in early. And I will remember every one of you, all the way up to about 10,000. I'll remember my first 10,000 subscribers. After that, I'm gonna be like, oh, geez, you weren't in early enough. So Francis versus John. Whoo, man, oh man. Now, I guess we should just lead off with, who do I think's gonna win? I'll tell you right now. Oh wait, no I won't. Yes I will. Francis is gonna win. He's gonna win by knockout. He's gonna win by like decisive, heavy knockout. And I'll tell you how I know that. Because John Jones does not knock people out anymore in like the first round. It's not like matter of fact, he never just went in and just like starched guys. And styles make fights, matchups make fights, okay? If he's not starching anyone at 205, he's not starching Francis Ngannou. So, oh wait, but he's a much more technical striker. He's got really long reach. Listen, if he's not cutting weight, he's probably gonna be 230 pounds. He's only 20, 30 pounds lighter than Francis, and I think anyone would say that he's a much more technical striker. Totally agree. Totally agree. Do you think that he's going to be able to go 10 minutes without getting hit? Because everybody he fights is a less technical striker, and he's gotten hit by all of them. And if you get grazed by Francis Ngannou, you're in a coma. Certainly John Jones is not immune to getting knocked out by Francis Ngannou. Hey, how many times had Rosenstrick been knocked out prior to Francis Ngannou? I want Francis Ngannou. No one can put me out. I'm 10-0. All knockouts. Unconscious in 20 seconds. Okay? How do you think John Jones, again, we'll go back to this. How do you think John Jones would do if a construction wrecking ball got loose and went and hit John Jones? Do you think that like he'd just be standing there afterwards and the wrecking ball will have broken and people would have been like, I told you that John Jones has a really strong chin? Or do you think the wrecking ball is too much force for a human being to take and John Jones would be dead like anyone else? Because that's Francis Ngannou. You get touched, you go to sleep. Period. Point blank. Period. Maybe unless you're Anthony Smith or Tony Ferguson. But let me ask you this. Do you think it's realistic to expect John Jones to not get hit by Francis Ngannou in the first 2 rounds? It's totally unrealistic. I think we can all acknowledge that. Do you think it's realistic that John Jones is going to be the one who knocks out Francis Ngannou on their feet? Francis has never been knocked out on his feet, but do you think John Jones is going to be the one that does it? No? Okay, good. That's probably a safe assumption also. Do you think that John Jones is going to suddenly become an incredible I take that back. He is a great wrestler. But do you think that he's going to implement his wrestling and use that as the dominant way that he wins a fight, like for the first time? Ever. Probably not, right? So he's going to be standing. He's going to be standing with Ngannou. The only way that a sound thinking person can say that John Jones is going to win is if he's so technical that he just literally picks Francis apart, right? Just picks him apart completely. Possible if you're fighting according to like, here, we've agreed that we're going to get set up. I apologize for the shadows, by the way. There's nothing I can do here. I have very limited access to studio space in my house right now. I really need this quarantine to end. I have a big house too, but I also have a lot of kids. Anyway, so if they both agree to these terms where it's like, okay, guys, now we're sparring and I don't want anyone to do anything crazy. We're going to stick and move. No one do anything crazy. No one, bulldoze at the other one. I want everything predictable. We are going to be mechanical here. I'm going to throw like this. Then you're going to throw like this. I told you. I don't care if I bumped you. I will strangle you to fucking death. So, here, don't break the rules. Don't break the rules. This is all we're doing. Okay, if you want to throw kicks, that's fine, but nothing crazy. Okay, nothing crazy. Only predictable movements. Okay, nothing crazy. Don't run at me and throw wild punches, because then I might get hit with one of those because I'm not used to unmechanical punches. Okay, that's the point. People look at Francis, they're like, look at this wild striking. Jesus. Like, I've seen people passing around these, these like screenshots of Francis like in the Rosenstruik fight. And they're like, look at this guy. He has no technique. I'm like, you know what that looks like to me? Unpredictable. Also, he was in the middle of getting punched. Like, he literally had been hit by Rosenstruik, and that's why he was that off balance. But if he goes running at John Jones, I mean, listen, he's probably going to land a punch. Like, that's the whole thing is, think about it like this, okay? Like, have you ever watched any of those, like, backyard fights or, like, bum fights or whatever? I've seen a couple of those where there's, like, a guy who is, like, a warrior. Not a warrior. Someone who's gotten in a lot of fights, but they're, like, wild and nuts, okay? And then they get squared up with a kickboxer, right? Like, someone who has taken a lot of kickboxing classes, but isn't, like, isn't, like, built out of granite, Like, just taking a lot of classes. And the guy who's crazy, like, bum rushes him. And the guy's like, hey, jeez. And the bum rush guy wins. Because the kickbox guy's like, hey, that's not how we fight. It's like, dude, you don't get to choose how the other guy fights. Your technique is awesome. And if you want to do a real technical back and forth, great. That's why I knew that the Pettis and Cowboy fight was going to be great. Because both those guys, that's how they like to fight. Nothing too unpredictable. Okay. In a fight like that, John Jones will pick Ngannou apart. But that's not how the fight's going to go. Ngannou is going to go crazy, and one of those punches is going to land, and John Jones is going to go to sleep. Plain and simple. Expect that. Bet that. And expect that. DC don't want that fight. Name me a fight that John Jones has had against a game opponent who has not landed a punch on him. That is why Francis is so dangerous. You can't eat a single punch, dude. I've said from the beginning, Francis was going to come back. Francis is going to win the belt at heavyweight. That's what's going to happen, dude. DC and Stipe are fighting, and John Jones looks, he's all, where's that money fight? This is also what's going on. Here's the other thing that's going on. John Jones he can see the end of his career. He can see it for the first time. 5 minutes ago, he was 18 years old. Now he's 33 or whatever. Now, that sounds young to people who are used to seeing people fight till they're 40 or 38 or whatever. But John Jones has been in the mix again. Here's the other thing. This is another thing that I want people to keep in mind. Okay, look. So when guys fight to be 38 years old, 37, and they're not on any performance enhancers, I'm telling you, you look at their career, these guys made a major step up in competition like in their 30s, okay? Because this is the thing, dude. If you're fighting against the top guys in the world, your shelf life is a certain number of years. It's not about age. It's about a number of years that you can be faced off with the best fighters in the world. Because we go back to the things I said, like on the Anthony Smith fight, or after the Anthony Smith and after the Tony Ferguson fight, okay? Human body can only take so much damage, okay? Skull, spine, nerve endings, muscles, tissue, tendons. They get knocked out of place. They don't heal right. It's scar tissue. It's not regular, healthy tissue that moves right, okay? Now, when you fight the best, most surgical, killing machine fighters in the world, okay, everyone's body can only take so much, okay? Now, certain bodies can take more. Some people are more resilient. But if you're fighting at the top level, you have a certain number of years, certain number of punches you can take, certain number of kicks you can take, certain amount of damage you can take. And these guys who fight till they're 38 have been fighting in small organizations for a long time, or they switched over and they came to MMA, you know, when they were whatever, you know, like Israel is going to fight until he's in his late 30s. I mean, Israel is almost the same age as John Jones. Israel's been in the UFC for a couple of years. John Jones has been fighting these top guys with no gloves on, killing machine dudes for 3 generations, since he was like 20, okay? He's got miles on him. Now, the fact that he hasn't gotten clipped, knocked down, and almost finished does not mean that he doesn't have miles on that body. And if you can't see it just watching his most recent fights, then you're not watching, okay? Francis Ngannou is a different animal. John Jones, but like I'm saying, he can see the end of his career because he knows he's got miles on that body. And so he's like, I'll take this Ngannou fight because he's thinking about money, okay? This is a money play. That's the biggest fight that he could possibly get right now, and he'll make a lot of dough for that fight. When you make back-end pay-per-view points, John Jones fighting Francis Ngannou, if he doesn't get the DC fight, that's by DC, Izzy, Ngannou. Those are his 3 big fights. DC might not fight him. Izzy's not going to fight him for a while. Ngannou, he can't wait. He'll make $6 to $10 million on that. Well, maybe not 10. I don't know, whatever. But he'll make over $5 million if he fights Ngannou. It's a no-brainer. He should do it. He lives in New Mexico, man. That's retirement money just on its own. Even if that was all the money he ever made, $5 million, pay out your people, you know, pay taxes, you net $2 million. You can retire on $2 million easy in New Mexico. Easy peasy. And he's already got dough. It's a smart move. I mean, aside from the fact that Ngannou might end his career, but from a money standpoint, it's good. Who do you think he's going to make more money with, Jan Blachowicz or fighting Ngannou? So here's the prediction. John Jones is not going to be able to avoid getting hit, and he's going to get knocked out. If he really fights for... Now, I'm not convinced he's actually going to take this fight. Let me just say that, okay? But if he does, he's going to get knocked out, just like everybody else. Francis Ngannou ain't losing. He's not going to lose. And also, Francis Ngannou, he's in his mid-30s. People are like, geez, he's getting up there in age. Oh, yeah? When did he start taking... What damage has he taken? None. The Stipe fight, he got hit a little bit, but really he just got outclassed on the ground. He got hit with some shots. It's not like, you know, a guy that size. Stipe took more damage in that fight. So Francis has got he's got miles ahead of him, not on him. He's got a ways to go. He's not going to lose for a long time. He's going to win at heavyweight. Now, DC is an interesting fight for him, but DC ain't taking that fight. He's not crazy. He doesn't want those sledgehammers swinging in his direction. But yeah, so that's what I got. Subscribe to the channel and hurry up about it. But to you guys who are already subscribed, thank you very much. I love you guys. I really do. Much appreciated. Please comment, share it, share this video, share it with everybody, because nobody even knows about this John Jones Ngannou thing. But I'm telling the truth, yo. Look at that. What if Ngannou fought Tyson? Or what if John Jones fought Tyson? That's a more interesting fight, because then at least John Jones has a chance. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Let's go.